Well, hey friends, I'm back on audio. How are you? OMG, this is so exciting to chat with you guys on the almost last day of the year. Wow, can you believe it? We made it, y'all. And I'm here to talk about 5 lessons that I learned in 2020 thanks to the recommendation of my coach. She's like, share it with the people. So, this will probably be short and sweet. Not sure how many of you guys are up and at 'em and ready to chat business goals and lessons learned, but I'm here for it. You will definitely see me back on camera very soon, but I wanted to get this out of the way via audio. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. If you're new here, hey girl, hey. My name is Andrika J. Austin. I go by Coach AJ. I am most recently known as Dr. AJ Austin. I am your master life coach trainer. I offer a one-day life coach certification training for Black women of faith. Want more information? Check me out at www.theblacklifecoachquiz.com. If you're live here with me on Facebook, I'm going to drop it in the comment as you guys come on and say hello, hello. Tell me where you're listening in from versus watching from today. Again, www.theblacklifecoachquiz.com is what to become a part of my coaching community. So when you go there, you're going to do a quick 60-second quiz telling me how life coaching speaks to your heart. You're also going to get a chance to ask me a question that I can come on here on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and share it with you, what my answer is to your question. If you want to chat with me via text or phone, you can put your phone number in there. And I do call, I do text. It is me. It is the founder of the company. A lot of people can't believe that it's me on the other end. It is. Hey, girl. So when you go to theblacklifecoachquiz.com, you fill it out. You ask me a question. You leave your number. We talk or text. I'll answer your question via video or via emails. That is the best way to get on our email list, to get the opportunity to stay in touch with me and to find out what's going on, what's coming up in the Black Life Coach movement. Okay? Because that's what this is. So, excuse me, we do have some good things coming up and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Hey, Marquita Young, how are you? I'm going back to my first love audio for today, girl. So, for those of you coaches who are scared to get on camera, this is the easiest way to get your message out. You don't have to worry about your makeup, okay? Okay, I'm getting a message while I'm here on live. That's tradition. It always happens. So, anyway, we're talking about 5 lessons learned. Hey, Felicia, in 2020. So if you have a lesson that sticks out in your head that you learned this year, if you can think that far back, because it seems like so long ago, right? Put it in the comments real quick. Let me know what's your biggest lesson for this year. Because my first one was, number one, we dealt with the pandemic, the quarantine, COVID-19, Corona, the world shutting down, businesses closing, things in life as we knew it kind of came to a very hard pause, right? Some of us fought it. Some of us adapted. Went with the flow. Excuse me, y'all. Let me give me some water. How was it for you? What lesson did you learn in the pandemic? Okay. Whew. Needed that drink. So, one thing I learned was that while the pandemic was unplanned, we still had to adapt, right? Excuse me, y'all. I'm popping a cough drop as we speak. Hey, Coach Corinthia. Hashtag live. Hey, Didi. Hey, Waniska. How are you? What is y'all's biggest lesson in 2020? Mine was all starting with the pandemic. That's as far back as I let my mind go this morning. I'm fresh off of nap number 2. So work with me here, y'all. Put your biggest lesson for 2020 in the comments. I'm talking about my 5 lessons for 2020, the year that shook us. So when the pandemic came, I did not take it hard. I was confused, as we all were, as to what we could and could not do. And I remember when the world shut down and I heard about it, but it was a different experience when I stepped outside. And I was like, where is everybody? And why is everything closed? I remember going to a restaurant to get some food, or at least I thought. They were like, oh, we closed it. I was like, what do you mean it's closed? What do you mean no one is here to cook for me? What do you mean? Here's my money. Take it. Feed me, because I don't cook. So it was a rude awakening, but it was also a shake in our faith, a shake in our belief of what was coming next. A lot of our coaches who got certified with me this year, they started out in January. So by the time the pandemic hit early March, they were dealing with things in their full-time jobs, like the schools closing, like hospitals being overrun. So we have some school administrators, some educators, some counselors. We have some healthcare workers. These are all Black certified life coaches now. And they were facing a crisis in their full-time jobs because they thought they were going to work full-time and coach on the side. Well, the quarantine time gave us all more time to focus on our business, grow, pivot, and still make sure that money was coming in, right? So what was that lesson for y'all in that pandemic? Dee says, lesson to be fluid this season and roll with the punches. Okay, Dee, that's what the pandemic taught us, right? Of course, Coach Corinthia says she learned I can have what I want. I just hear T.I. You can have whatever you like, because that's what I was thinking too, Coach. So being that I have worked in the training space the last 5 years, I have a training and development degree, most recently an honorary doctorate degree in Christian psychology. I've done a lot of inside work, meaning in the house, on my computer, on Skype, on Zoom, on Blab, on Periscope, on Facebook Live, on Instagram Stories, on YouTube. The list goes on and on and on, right? So that meant I had very limited interaction with the outside world. So I didn't know what y'all did outside my house doors, but I know what happened in the highs, So my business was not negatively impacted. I still had business as usual. As a matter of fact, because so much closed down, we had an influx in registration of people checking off their bucket list to finally get certified as a life coach. They finally had the time to sit down and learn. And I remember one lady was in tears because she finally got what her child was going through with this homeschooling thing. She was so hard on him about learning. And when it was her time to learn and be coached, she cried. And I had to remind her, remember when you would yell at your little baby about what it takes to focus, sit still in front of this computer and get this work done? Yeah, now you're kind of getting, and I'm always on the kids' side. I'm Auntie AJ to every child that I know, okay? So I'm advocating for the baby here, because now mom is understanding what it takes to sit and focus and learn. And so that time during quarantine was the best time to get those certifications in. Hey, Coach Lakai. She's like, who is Cody? My phone auto-corrected the word coach this morning because I typed so fast. It's like, I'm going to just guess what she's trying to say. So I don't know Cody, but I know Coach. Hey, Coach. Good morning. What was your biggest lesson this year, Coach Lakaya? That's what we're talking about. Because in the pandemic, it kind of shut our world down. It kind of let let us do what Dee mentioned, which was to be more fluid, be adaptable, roll with it, go with the flow, because a lot of stuff that happened, we couldn't do nothing about it, So it was up to us to change our mindset, like Coach Corinthia said, and we both had that mindset of, you know what, I can have whatever I like, So that's what the pandemic taught. It did not have to shut you down. It did not have to impact you in a negative way. You could decide what that pivot was going to look like. That was a big word when it first came down hard on us here in the U.S. Pivot, change, because now we can't go outside. Everybody on punishment. Some of us didn't like it. I didn't mind. I'm a home body. I would stay home, I don't know how long, days at a time. I think the longest I've gone recently is like a week. As long as I got snacks and I can order food, I can entertain. I have so many books to read. I don't even need my phone, but I can be inside with TikTok and be just okay, because TikTok is one thing that came into my life during the quarantine. And child, I've never laughed so much and screamed so loud. My neighbors are probably like, what is she doing? She's always laughing. Those videos are so entertaining. And I know mentally laughing at TikTok videos got me through the quarantine. Because at some point, you do get tired of being in the house. You do want to go out and mix and mingle and talk to people and then come back home, whether you're introvert or extrovert, okay? So the pandemic helped us shuffle all of that and decide what card we were going to pull. Lakaya says, I can do whatever I put my mind to. Absolutely. So I feel like the pandemic made us focus, right? It was like, you can get your mind right today. So I remember everybody was cleaning out their closets and reorganizing their homes and painting art projects and painting the walls and building things. Like, we just became these people. And I was like, what is happening? The whole world is shifting to the Home Depot people. The Home Depot and Walmart were the two party places during the pandemic, right? Everybody fighting for either tissue or wood. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just stay at home because I'm good on both of those things. And I'm going to wait till all of this calms down. And so because we knew we could do whatever we put our minds to, we knew that we could have what we wanted. We knew that we could be fluid in this season because it is a season. And we would have to roll through the punches. And we knew that, we could decide what the pandemic meant for us. Then it was time to shift focus. So for me, lesson number one was the pandemic did not determine what happened in my business. Lesson number two was, okay, now that we're inside, we have this whole new perspective on what life can be when we slow down, when we focus, and when we really listen to the season of God. What are we doing right now? We then get to decide how we invest. And invest could be your time. It could be your money. It could be your attention or your patience. Investing looks so different to so many people. So next, what I learned was that everybody knows something that someone else needs to know. So what that meant was when we were in quarantine and I would open the Facebook app, I would see so many ads for these new courses, so many ads and invitations to come sign up for this free new thing, so many ads to invest with coaches, so many ads to purchase books. And y'all, the nerd in me was in heaven with all of this. I love learning. I love reading. I love being taught. I'm very coachable as a coach because we have to be coachable. That's like one of the main qualities as well. So with everybody teaching something, everybody offering a book, a course, a video, a new podcast, I showed you guys in my Facebook stories recently that I spent over $2,150 this year in those ads. $7 here, $27 here, $97 here, $9.97 here, $197 here. And it added up to it's really over 2,000. I just stopped counting and I didn't include all the books. But I bought so many programs because it was now time to sit, focus, and invest. Invest time, invest money, invest attention. Because I knew that when the world opened up, whatever that looks like with our new normal, I was going to be well educated in what was going on in the online space and business growth and marketing and coaching. And I was also going to have some new information to bring back to my squad. That's y'all. So I was ready. What about y'all? What was another lesson that popped up for you guys when it came to now it's time to take this time we have and do what with it? What did you do with your time? Corinthia said, we became who was already in us. We needed space and time to discover. Amen, sister. She said 35 of us discovered that we are certified life coaches. Come on, coach. Because that is what was a result. Now, because that's the part of the story I missed. So thank you, Corinthia. One of me and my friends yesterday were talking like we always need those friends and people in our lives who can tell us the part of our life we missed out on. Like, oh, you forgot to tell about this part. So thank you, girl. It just reminded me. Because being inside, not only did I invest in myself, being quarantined also allowed 35 Black women around the world to invest in themselves by becoming a certified life coach online in one day with me this year. So a part of my investing was that I invested with a coach who saw what I was doing training Black women, where they would come here to Atlanta, spend a day with me, and leave certified. And then at the end of last year, I had the idea to bring that training online, and I hired a Zoom coach, worked with her for 90 days, and we got the training concept put together. Did a dry run about this time last year in December, end of the year last year, with some coaches, and they loved it. And so I met up with my coach this year. I was still teaching it live, and he gave the idea to introduce it in a whole new way that has revolutionized how I now train and certify coaches around the world. Corinthia being one, Lakaya being one. I know we'll have more coaches on here. Marquita, of course, being one. But these coaches went from a couple coaches this time last year to now 35 ladies. These are Black women all over the world who are now certified life coaches because they gave themselves permission to invest their time, their money, their attention, as they did, like what Coach Corinthia said, by becoming who they already were. They just needed that space created for them because it was time to discover. It was like God said, be still and know. And he had to show us what he was able to do. So things that started out with us being scared and worried, and they look bad from, hearing about this thing called COVID and the symptoms and, having to wear masks when we go out in public. And then everybody seemingly catching cabin fever at the same time. I was like, we tired of being in the house. Things are still happening in the world. Injustice is still taking place. Then we went into a time of civic and civil unrest with the riots, the marches, murders, things we just did not understand. Why is this happening? Why is this still happening? What can we do? And I remember with all of the tension that was so high from the pandemic, from the things that are going on politically, and just the injustice, the unfairness of the world taking place. All of these emotions captivated us as a people. And I'm going to speak for myself personally here, because I remember not knowing how to process what was happening in the outside world, in addition to everything we were still going through with this pandemic. And so Black Lives Matter became, bigger, more vocal. Everybody was taking a stance, whether they agreed or didn't agree. And one day I found myself in my closet crying my eyes out because I just could not understand how to process all of this. I could not understand how people couldn't just sit still and let's figure this stuff out. And I really feel like I had tears that were uncried from years ago, from my ancestors, that they didn't get a chance to experience the freedom that we now had. The ability to come and go, to pick and choose, to decide what type of life we would live, to be entrepreneurs, to make our own money, to help each other, to come together. It still wasn't happening like they envisioned. And I needed to know what role I played. I needed to know what my part was. And it was like God just took that moment and showed me clearly how Black lives do matter. At the same time, we shouldn't have to prove that Black lives matter. What we can do is show how Black lives matter. Because if I, as a leader in my Black community and in the online space for Black women of faith, coaches in particular, was feeling a certain way in that moment, imagine people who were new to this. This was their first rodeo. They needed help. They needed someone to be there for them. They needed some shoulder to cry on. I then decided I'm going to take my stance with showing how not only do we matter, but how we can make a difference in our community. Because we do have people hurting. We do have people who don't understand what's happening. We do have people who need comforting and listened to. We do have people who need to know what's inside of them, and that despite what's going on in the world, despite what people think about them or feel about them, or whether or not they think their lives matter, it's time to show up and show the difference we can make here in the world, starting particularly in the church, in our Christian faith, because we have the faith, we have the belief to make it through. Everybody doesn't have that faith, and someone somewhere needs our faith to believe in their next level. Let's show up and show out as Black women of faith, getting certified as life coaches, helping to change the trajectory of our Black community. Let's do our part as coaches. And so that's when I took a stance that I'm not certifying all coaches anywhere, everywhere, like I've been doing for years prior. I'm specifically certifying Black women of faith within the Christian community, because we need Jesus on this thing. We can't show up playing with crystals and tarot cards and psychic reading and talking about the universe and energy. While that stuff is relevant and has its timing, you have to know what your foundation is, what your beliefs are, where your faith lies, who you're going to rely on in the next pandemic, because we're going to need Jesus to get us through this one. So all of that came into place, and that's when the opportunity to certify these 35 women who said yes this year to get certified as Black women of faith, as certified life coaches through my training company, came into it. Just like took off. And now we have people pre-registered for this time next month. They're going to be first in line for January. We have companies who have sponsored women to go through this training. We have books being written, television deals that have came into fruition since being certified. We have women all over the world speaking and sharing their story. We have women crying in my inbox because they cannot believe that they sat, they got certified, they focused on what God was showing them during the pandemic season, and now they are birthing these new things that they always wanted to birth. They can check it off their list. Their family is proud of them. They're proud of themselves. They're looking at their certificates hanging on their office wall like I did 7 years ago. And now they have the confidence to finally step out, not on faith, because we always have had the faith, but we're stepping out with a plan of action, with money-making strategies, with difference-making tactics to actually be what we know God has always called us to be. He just had to sit us down, right? Didi says, right, yes, right. Gracie, hey girl, hey. So this is that time. Didi says, love it. This was the year that began the movement of Black Life Coaches. If you want to join the movement, theblacklifecoachquiz.com is a great place to enter our space because we got some fun stuff coming up. We're doing a New Year's Eve party this weekend. We are doing some trainings in January. We got some authors coming out soon. We got some speakers releasing their new message soon. And we have tons of women waiting to get certified, y'all. We did it. We did it. And the company is not even a year old yet to where we are taking that stance for Black women around the world. So what about y'all? What's that other message? That other lesson? Maybe you heard something in something that I've shared. What was something else that you took as a lesson from 2020? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I know that another thing that stuck out for me as lesson 3, because lesson 1 was the pandemic didn't determine, where my business went. Lesson 2 was it's time to invest in myself and then allow other people to invest in themselves with me. Lesson number 3 for 2020. Hey, Latrice. Hey, Dion. It was all about friends. It was all about support. It was all about creating a circle. And that's what these Black women who I have certified this year showed me the power of. A community of like-minded women coming together, supporting each other's goals and dreams. To be certified, to begin this journey into the life coaching space as a Black woman, and to finally launch in business. But then it goes deeper than that because you need your prayer circles. You need people who are going to call and check on you. You need people who are going to send you a text message to check on you and the kids. You need people to check on you and the husband to make sure one of y'all ain't drove each other crazy being locked in the house for the last year. It taught me the lesson of a support circle. You need friends who this time next year you can look back and be like, girl, we made it. You need friends like Corinthia who said, you got to tell about 35 women you certified this year, coach. You need friends who were there when. They can verify the story. Yeah, girl, we made it through. Yeah, the pandemic was hard, but tell them about that certification. Tell them about that book you wrote. Tell them about that one time you spoke in front of a Zoom room of 250 people. And that never would have happened if we could go outside if the world was open. You need those type of friends, that type of circle, that type of support, and that type of sisterhood. And that's what our community of Black life coaches has allowed us to create this year in the midst of a pandemic. Y'all, that was a great lesson to learn this year. That all I had to do was say yes to what God was showing me, because there was someone waiting to say yes to what he's been showing them. And then when we combined our powers, come on, somebody, we've become a movement of Black life coaches. That's why I say, if you want to get in, friend, come on. We got a space for you too. Make sure you check out theblacklifecoachquiz.com. 15 ladies over the last 2 days have taken this quiz, and they're all new Facebook friends. So, hey, new Facebook friends, thank y'all for taking this quiz. Welcome to the community. I'm going to be sending out some emails soon. I got my coach working with me on that because he emails daily. I email weekly or every other week or when I'm feeling like emailing. So we're going to get on that because I know y'all waiting to hear what's next, what's coming up. And a lot of you guys do have questions because I mentioned over at theblacklifecoachquiz.com, there is a space for you to ask me questions. So y'all are like, where do I get started, doctor? Where do I get started, coach? Where do I get started? I'm ready to get certified. So I got some stuff coming up for you guys. We're doing some really, really fun challenge stuff to get you out of your comfort zone. And then if you're already one of my coaches that got certified with me this year, we got Latrice, who's supposed to have her call in a couple hours. So Legacies, if you're on here, Latrice is looking for 2 people to practice on today. So it would be great if you could go to our private Facebook group and respond to her to say yes, so that she can be our coach of 2020 that's wrapping up this season of us coaching this year. She'll be our last Black certified life coach this year, unless somebody in the next day, maybe 2, come and blow her out the water, because y'all know our training is 1 day. But we're going to help her finish and get across that stage. Dee says, I do. So check out the theblacklifecoachquiz.com, because I know a lot of people are ready to get certified, and there are opportunities for you to do that and become a member of this elite squad, starting with theblacklifecoachquiz.com. So I'm going to be answering those questions y'all have. I'm going to be texting and calling a lot of y'all. And we're going to see what 2021 holds for you as a woman of faith, Black certified life coach, okay? Dee says it's time to step out of our comfort zone and start living your best life, living out your dreams. And I think a lot of us realized our dreams when we had time to sit and focus this year. I also think that God watched us. And he's like, let me see if she's going to sit and plan. Because I told her to write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it can run with it. 2020, y'all, I hope you got your Nikes on, because it's time to run. And you're not by yourself. And the beauty of it is you're not running away from anything. You're running with a group of women who have joined hands. Women who look like you, to your left and to your right. They got your hand in hand. They are connected spirit to spirit and heart to heart, because it is a growing movement of Black women certified life coaches. Y'all just don't understand, right? It's bigger than what we thought it was. It's bigger than what we even dreamed in the beginning. And it's really, really exciting. So friends, a support circle, investing in yourself, and making your own decision of what 2020 and this pandemic and quarantining taught you were the first 3 lessons of this year for me. And then number 4 of 5 was all about vision. That's what Dee Dee's preaching about on her phone screen. I can hear you, Dee Dee. She's like, it's time to not only write the vision, because see, that's where we came into this year, right? Everybody was like, this is a year of vision. 2020 is the year of vision. I know we church folks, so we get deep sometimes. 2020 is the year of vision. And I even heard that. But what I heard in my spirit from the Holy Spirit was to rewrite the vision. That means that for me, I've been in business since 2005. I've been coaching since 2013. So now here we are 7 years after becoming a certified life coach. He's like, you need a new vision. Let's rewrite the vision. And then later this year, after everything happened, good and bad, and in between, all mixed together, he showed me the word revision. So not necessarily scratching those original goals and dreams, not necessarily scratching this thing that you've held in your heart for all these years, but just re-envision it, revision it. So yes, rewrite it, but see it differently. See it from the perspective of, if the world never went back to how it was, I would blank with what God has given me. So for me, it's, if the world never went back to live events that I could host or attend, I am going to dominate the online video space to bring the word of God, to bring ministry, to bring hope, to bring coaching, to bring certification, to bring education and knowledge to the online space, to the Black women of faith that I probably would never reach in person. I've been having conversations in different countries since the pandemic. I had no plans to visit several different countries this year, you guys, although I did renew my passport during the pandemic. It was a lot easier to do business through the mail this year and online. So what is that for you? What is that one thing that you have to re-envision? What is that one thing that you have to rewrite your vision for? What goal did you learn in 2020 that you were like, okay, God, I know you called me to blank. And now if the world never went back to how it was or how I knew it, this is how I would still dominate in this space that I know you've given me dominion in. What's that one thing for y'all? Put it in the comments really quick because I want to know. I want to know. Didi says, come on now. So 2020, the year of the pandemic, the year of investing, the year of friends and support and sisterhood and a circle of friends. And if you need that in your life, check out theblacklifecoachquiz.com because that's the easiest way into our world. We are here waiting with open arms to congratulate you, to welcome you, to extend the right hand of fellowship. Okay, let's get deep. Let's go church. But 2020, again, was that year of rewriting that vision. And y'all, I had no idea. Because one thing in business that I try not to focus on is losing myself. And so I allow God to dream for me. And I say, Lord, whatever your will is, can you show me what your vision is for this? Can you keep me in your will for this? What is your plan and your purpose in this space for me? I could not have imagined being here in less than a year, having certified and trained 35 women around the world, having women on a waiting list, having women just come out of their pockets with full payments, 500, 600, 700, thousands. I think the most that one of my clients paid recently for just a simple project was like $4,000 because they wanted me on that project. Not a whole lifelong of coaching, a specific simple project because they had watched my work. And that's another thing, you guys, tying into vision. People are watching. So not only do you have this vision that you have, but God has a vision. And then there are people literally watching the vision unfold. They'll never say anything. Some will. And some are waiting to pay you to be a part of that vision because they see it with you. And that's what I love about the theblacklifecoachquiz.com because it started as, oh, take this quiz and tell me if coaching is for you. Then it was like, well, ask me your biggest question about becoming a certified life coach. Then it became, well, do you want to stay in touch with other Black women life coaches that look like you? And then when I hosted online events to start dominating that online space, y'all showed up. We looked like the Brady Bunch squares, 20, 30 at a time. Then I was able to offer a scholarship. I gave away money this year on behalf of my mom and her legacy as an entrepreneur and what it looks like to do ministry in the community of Black women. And I looked up and y'all still coming. Y'all still growing. I'm still reaching out and having text conversations, phone conversations, email conversations. Y'all call me and a lot of y'all video chat too. So I'm really, really, really excited about where this movement is going because one thing I know for sure is that when we learn things as women, we're going to pour into others, whether it be other women, whether it be youth. We have a heart to give back, especially in the Black community, especially in the Christian community. We are all about sowing seeds. So you guys, we have to be in a position where we can give because others need it because they are watching and they're trying to figure out how can I be a part of her vision? How can I support her? How can I pay her? How can I show up for her? They are a part of the vision. So what about you guys? Hey, Shantoya, what's those lessons? The vision. Didi says innovation and creativity. Yes, all of that came out of this year. Any other lessons that is popping up for you guys? Because I'm getting some new ideas. I hope y'all are getting something from this. If you want more of what this looks like, because I'm not always on Facebook Live, make sure you check out the theblacklifecoachquiz.com right now. I'm country, so that means right now. It's free. I don't charge you to take this quiz. You're going to come into our community and be poured into and also pour in to others because someone is waiting. I wrap up all my videos with that, telling you guys that people are watching. So on my list of 5 lessons that I learned this year for the year 2020, we talked about number 1, the pandemic not determining the state of your business. Number 2, we talked about investing in yourself and how others will also start investing in themselves through you. Number 3, we talked about having friends, a support system, a support circle, a sisterhood. And number 4, we talked about the vision, rewrite the vision, re-envision the vision, and how people are literally watching the vision. Y'all ready to put those visions into place? Because it's time to stop talking about it. It's time to stop being so deep and repeating and recycling cliches. It's time to start living. Because that's what number 5 was for me. It was all about planning, like actually sitting still, I have about 20 different journals. Half of them are brand new. The other half, y'all, I'm on my last few pages of one as I speak. I wrote my notes in it for today in it. And I was like, oh, I'm getting to the end of this. I'm excited to know that I filled up a whole journal with new ideas and concepts and plans and goals. So now, this day being, we have 2 more days left this year. Y'all, I don't know. We started getting days and dates mixed up early this year. So I'm trying to hang in there, make sure I got my dates right. But I think we got 2 days left in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. It's time to plan. It's time to start writing the vision for not just next year, but for this next decade. We're entering a new decade. 2020 was that beginning of the decade. So what are you going to do with the next 9 years of these 10 years? We just lived one. We made it, y'all. We did it. We survived. A lot of people did not get this far. What are you going to do with that time? How are you going to live out that vision? What's your plan? What are your goals? So I know one of my major goals for next year, and I wrote it out for last year, was I said, if I looked at my income numbers last year this time, and I said, I just want to double this total. And y'all, I looked at my numbers the day before yesterday, and I literally, to the number, doubled my income goals since this time last year. And I was just like, thank you, Jesus, because I made a plan and I set a goal to do it. And God prepared the way. I told you, I think God watches us to see, how is she going to write out this vision? Is she going to make a plan? Is she going to let me direct her path? Because he's there to do it. But we got a plan. We got to write it out. Give him something to work with. Let's practice our faith. Put it into play. It's time, y'all. The world is waiting. I learned lessons early on this year, how, our vision also has to outlive us. We lost 2 major coaches in our industry this year. One was Cece. She was the 6-figure chick. This Black woman grew a multi-million-dollar company by selling $30 digital products online. She dominated the Instagram space. And I remember talking to her and I'm like, how did you know that this was your lane? And she explained it to me and a group of women. Like, when you know that you have something to offer, you have to show up and offer it, because we just never know. And she had cancer. She beat it, and then it came back. She met her legacy goal of living a life as a millionaire. I remember she bought her first car and she took a picture of a check for $80,000 that she paid cash. And she talked about her story of how she was this little Black girl from Alabama. We all country over here, y'all. She's like, how am I paying $80,000 brand new for my dream car based on a business that I grew to multiple millions off of a simple idea that God gave me and I put it into place? Y'all, she left a legacy, so much so that now her team runs her Instagram account and it's literally renamed CC's Legacy. And I'm like, OMG, how powerful is that? We had another coach. Her name was Kiki. She was up in Canada. Now, she wasn't one of my coaches. She wasn't, someone I trained or certified as a coach. She was someone that I had just started connecting with on Instagram as well, because we had a similar business brand. So my business brand is The Boss of Me. That's my parent company that houses my certifications and everything else. And Kiki had just started a company and wrote a book called My Boss is Me. And she talked to corporate women who were just quitting their jobs. And so we talked about how when she came to Atlanta, because we share a mutual friend, her best friend is a friend of mine as well. And so we were like, when you come to Atlanta, let me know, we're going to connect. And we didn't have a chance to connect. I remember checking in on our mutual friend, like, hey girl, how's it going? And she said, Kiki passed away. She's no longer with us. And so we attended Kiki's funeral virtually. This was the season of virtual funerals. Y'all remember we couldn't go to funerals. We couldn't have big gatherings of 10 or more people. And so Kiki didn't have COVID, from what they reported. She had a blood clot in her leg that moved to her lungs, I think it was, and gave her an aneurysm, which was like something burst in her brain or something like that. I remember looking it up and trying to understand why, because she was in her 40s, young mother. up in Canada, and they had to film her funeral on live stream. But it turned out to be one of the most eye-opening moments, at least for me, because you guys, I didn't expect to get all of these big business lessons and downloads during a live stream funeral. But what I realized was, it goes back to having the vision. It goes back to investing in yourself and having that support circle. Because sometimes our vision is bigger than us. It's bigger than where we're located. Remember, I said she's in Canada. We didn't get a chance to connect when she came from Canada to Atlanta. But now here we were online, and it went from 6 people showing up to her virtual funeral to 300 plus people attending live to see her for the last time. And Kiki had this phenomenal smile. She was short hair like me, so we had a lot in common. And I could really relate because she was in the coaching space. She was an author. She was a teacher, a coach, and just this motivator. And to see this stream of hundreds of people who would have never made it to Canada, hundreds of people who she may have never met in real life at a virtual event, hundreds of people she probably never seen on her own live streams on Instagram Live, because she did those from time to time. They were now attending her funeral. They were talking about the legacy that she left, how she motivated them, how she inspired them. And y'all, it just moved me to tears. And I'm like, God, what can I do with this space, with this legacy that Kiki, the coach, has left? And so in that moment, my business savvy kicked in. And I said, y'all go buy her book. Because that book is now a legacy that goes to her children and her parents who are now raising her children. Go buy a $20 book. I ordered my copy. I was leading by example. I'm like, how can we sow into this legacy? Because she helped so many people while she was here. And y'all are on here saying the difference that she made. But it goes to the coaching conversation we have in my one-day certification, where we literally have to ask, what would you like for people to say at your funeral? Kiki was that living legacy of what people said at her funeral. And we got to see it in writing. It's even available on replay somewhere, y'all. But I'm like, here she is, her last day being seen on earth, the biggest crowd she could have imagined, saying so many miraculous, immaculate, wonderful things about her. And now they're pouring back into her legacy in the form of a book. Y'all, that's what I mean, that it's bigger than us. That's what I mean. It's time to plan those goals. If you have it on your list of goals to write a book, it's time to get it out so that people can keep your legacy going. If you have a plan to create your first coaching program, it's time to do it. Let's get this word out. Let's get this message out, because you got people to impact. So when you think about Kiki, when you think about Cece, when you think about the year we've been through, what do you want your legacy to be? Y'all, that's what we're going into in the year 2021, starting with the quiz over at theblacklifecoachquiz.com. It's deep. It's moving. I have so many other lessons that I learned this year. I didn't expect these to come out of it. You know, coming into 2020, we had so many visions and dreams and goals, but God said, remix. He brought us to a place of steel. We had to sit and focus and listen. And these are some of the things that I picked up along the way that became strategic lessons that are going to help us build. We got to build on this. That's why I said we're planning for this next decade of our life, you guys. So what are you going to do with the lessons that the pandemic taught you? What are you going to do with that time and money you have to invest right now? What are you going to do to be a part of a friend group, a support circle of sisters to help you get to the next level? What are you going to do with that vision God gave you and helped you rewrite this year? What are you going to do with those new plans and those new goals? If you need help, we're here, Shantoya. We're here, Dee Dee. We're here, LaRonda, Michelle, Latasha. We're here, Dion, Latrice. We got you, girl. Gracie, Corinthia. You know we got you, girl. Tasha, Lakaya. We're here. Waniska, we got you. Felicia, Marquita. That's what the theblacklifecoachquiz.com introduces you to. This movement, this world of sisters who are Black certified life coaches making an impact around the world that is having a legacy effect. It's trickling down. We are known as Legacy. That is our group. We are the ladies of legacy because we're building legacies, we're living legacies, and we're leaving legacies. That's what it's all about, y'all. Y'all ready? You ready to leave your legacy? Dee Dee says, yes, or woohoo hearts. It's time to live the legacy. Stop watching other people live your life. Live the life of your dreams. It's time, y'all. Let's walk in our legacy. That's what I got. That's all I got. I got more I could share, but I'm tired of talking. So, any final questions, goals, dreams, plans, accomplishments set in motion for 2021 that you guys need help with as future Black certified life coaches, as current Black certified life coaches, as legacies? Where my legacies at? What y'all got before we go? Any final words? All hearts and minds clear? Y'all, I love audio because I feel like I can focus more on our topic without getting distracted about, how I'm looking on camera. So audio is a blessing as well. Waniska says, I love it. Ladies of Legacy. That's our 35 plus. We are still growing. Of course, we're going to double those numbers in 2021, which is my prayer. These are our Black women of faith who are now certified life coaches. So when you get certified with me, you become a Lady of Legacy. You join our private Facebook group. You get special opportunities like the one I talked about yesterday, where we're going to spend time helping you to grow that legacy. Start making even more of an impact. Start adding more income. And making sure you're the woman of influence that you want to be. And that God has called you to be. So, yep. Ladies of Legacy. If you want introduction to who those ladies are, head over to theblacklifecoachquiz.com. We got you. We would love to have you guys a part of that squad as well. So I'm scrolling through comments. Make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. But if you got a final comment, final question, post it real quick. Dee Dee, it has been a joy having you on here today in the Amen Kona and adding to it. Adding to the discussion. Shouts out to all of my coaches, Coach Corinthia, Lakaya, Marquita. Y'all are hanging out on here with me. If you're new here, I introduced myself at the beginning. I'm Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC. I train Black women of faith to become certified life coaches online in one day. Yes, it's possible. We have proof here. Say hey, coaches, if you're on here. Put legacy in the comment if you are one of our ladies of legacy. Dee Dee says I'm heading over there. Hey, Teresa. Ladies of Legacy, real quick, put legacy in the comments. Get your shout out on, girl. Because one thing I believe in is connection. You never ever know who needs to see you. We have coaches who their names are mentioned when people call to register for our certification. Yeah, I seen Coach Corinthia got certified through you. And yeah, people are watching. So legacies, if you're on here, put the word legacy in the comments. Kimberly, yes, thank you for joining. It's time. It's time, Kim. You ready, girl? We have a Kimberly. She's a new author. She's a project manager. And she spent 6 months in our book writing mastermind writing her first book. Okay, Legacy 1, 2, 3. I see you. Yes. So welcome, Kimberly. I know you said you're new here. And so it is about marketing and getting your message out. But you have to have a plan of how you're going to do that to get those first paying clients. Because y'all, when I say yesterday, a video popped up in this time last year. This is what you were doing. I was recording a video about, getting new Facebook friend requests because I started getting a whole lot at one time. And then God showed me ways to use that and multiply that impact. And I just did it a couple days ago. That's how we got 15 ladies in 2 days to take this life coach quiz over at theblacklifecoachquiz.com. It's a ninja trick, y'all. I listened to the Holy Spirit, and I'm so glad I did, because we have added so many new ladies to our friends here, to our coaching roster, to those who have taken the quiz over at theblacklifecoachquiz.com, to those who are now a part of our coaching community receiving our emails when I send them. But we are growing, and so I'm sharing those tricks with our legacy coaches, with those who are ready to put their plan into place and into action. We did have one of our legacies say yes to our opportunity that I introduced yesterday, so I sent her the agenda. So January is bringing some good things for those who have been certified with me this year. If you're interested in getting certified, head over to theblacklifecoachquiz.com. I'm going to be sending out information. I'm putting all this stuff together for y'all. We got some fun stuff coming up. Hey, Autumn, love your name, girl. Kimberly says, thanks for sending me the friend request. Yes, so I friend people. I ain't too good. Hey, girl, you don't know me, but you will. Welcome. I'm crazy. She said, yes, to write the vision. I have to. Yes, you have to. Hey, Melissa Abram. Any final questions? I've been on here for a minute. Y'all on here like, amen, hallelujah. Anything else you would add to the discussion? I'm seeing some new faces pop on here. Some of y'all gonna have to go watch the replay now. Any final words before we go? I'm about to go eat, y'all. I have not eaten today, and I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I really don't feel like leaving the house, but I might have to leave and go get some food from my favorite little cafe down the street. So that's all I got. It looks like that's all y'all got too. If you want to rehear the message from today, hit hashtag replay. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Make sure, if you're looking to get in where you fit in, head over to theblacklifecoachquiz.com. And until we meet again, my friends, remember, there's someone somewhere. They are waiting on you, girl, to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs. Because it's when you let your light shine, you give others permission to do the same. I am Dr. AJ Austin, your Master Life Coach Certification Trainer. Meet me over at theblacklifecoachquiz.com, and I'm going to leave you with this question. What is your legacy? I'll see y'all soon. God bless. Bye, friends.